Hi, Martin Road friends. How are you? I hope all is well. I'd just like you to know that I'm thinking about you and I miss you, and I can't wait until we can get back to school and be all together again. In the meantime, Mrs. Radon and some of the other Martin Road teachers are going to be putting videos up on YouTube to help you get through this time and to make sure that you are keeping your skills sharp so that when we do come back to school, you will be ready to learn. Today, Mrs. Radon is going to talk about some very simple strategies that you could be using while you're reading at home. And I see some of you have been on your iReady. Great job, Amgad and Olivia. Some of you have been doing your Raz Kids. Maybe some of you are reading chapter books or picture books, or maybe you're reading a graphic novel, whatever it may be. I hope that we're all at home enjoying some good books. Today, I want to help you sharpen those reading skills a little bit by going over some of the very simple skills that we have been practicing. And those are reread, stop and think, use picture clues, right? Very simple strategies that we could all use to help us make sure we understand what we're reading. Today, Mrs. Radon is going to read a picture book called Alice the Fairy. It is a fictional book. And remember, boys and girls, there are different genres of fiction. There could be realistic fiction, there could be science fiction, historical fiction, maybe science fiction, right? So whatever genre you love, maybe you could find a book that you can read while we're getting through this and practice your strategies. So the book is Alice the Fairy by David Shannon. And remember, we can reread, we can stop and think, or we could use the picture clues to help us figure out what we're reading. Here we go. Bear with me, boys and girls. This is my first time on YouTube, so bear with me. My name is Alice, and I'm a fairy. I'm not a permanent fairy. I'm a temporary fairy. You have to pass a lot of tests to be a permanent fairy. A permanent fairy and a temporary fairy? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I don't know. I'm thinking, what is a permanent fairy and what is a temporary fairy? But maybe I could use my strategies to help me figure that out. I have wings so I can fly. I can't fly very high yet, but I can fly really fast. The picture is giving me a clue because she's not really flying. She's more like running. So right away, I'm thinking maybe she's not a real fairy. I don't know. This is my magic wand. This is my blanket. Fairies use magic wands to change frogs into princes and things like that. I changed my dad into a horse. You know what? I think I need to reread this section just to make sure I know what she's doing. Fairies use magic wands to change frogs into princes and things like that. I changed my dad into a horse. But I see in the picture, he's not really a horse. He's just pretending to be a horse. Maybe that's a clue to help me figure out the difference between a temporary fairy and a permanent fairy. One time my mom made cookies for my dad, so I turned them into mine. Again, I could stop and think about what I'm reading, and I could also use the picture as clues to help me figure it out. So in the first magic trick, she didn't really change her dad into a horse. It was just that her dad was pretending to be a horse. And on these 2 pages, ooh, my favorite kind of cookies, by the way, she made a plate of chocolate chip cookies and she turned them into hers by eating them. I think that's a trick I might try to use. I felt bad about the cookies, so I thought I'd whip up a new outfit for my dad. Did I tell you he's the Duke of Morningside Drive? Well, he is. Golden sparkly pants, purple pinkish shoes, my favorite color. But clothes were too hard. So I made him a new crown instead. And when I look at the crown, that looks like a crown that I made when I was in 3rd grade. Right? It's got macaroni and glitter and buttons. Again, I think this is a clue that's telling us that she's not really a fairy, but maybe pretending to be a fairy. With my magic wand, I can make leaves fall from trees, and I can draw pictures on water. I think I could do that too. How about you? Sometimes I use my wand to disappear, but that's kind of scary. Again, this might be a spot where I could stop and think about, again, what am I reading? When I look at the picture clues, it looks like she's using her wand to turn off the lights. But is she using magic? Nope. It looks like she's just using it to click the lights off. Again, I think this is a clue that tells me why she's a temporary fairy and not a permanent fairy, because I think she's just pretending. I'd rather use my blanket. Of course, I also have a magic mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Well, what do you know? It's me, Alice. Thank you, mirror. Fairy dust is very useful. I use it to turn oatmeal into cake. Again, looking at the pictures and stopping to think about what we're reading tells me that she is just pretending to be a fairy, using her imagination. Is that something that you could do as well? Use your imagination? I think so. Casting spells is another important part of being a fairy. Watch me make my dog float on the ceiling. Hocus pocus, croakin' docus, hokin' token, froken, doggin' floggin', biggle noggin. Okay, that one needs a little bit of work. So again, stopping to think about what I'm reading, she's trying to cast a spell to get her dog on the ceiling, but the dog's not going anywhere. But a fairy must be very careful with magic. Once I accidentally turned my white dress into a red one. Uh-oh. That made the Duchess so mad she locked me in the tower forever. I got away though. Again, using our picture clue to help us figure out that she is just pretending. A fairy life is filled with danger. Broccoli is often poisoned by the wicked Duchess and should never be eaten. Oh, now let me think about this. Maybe I could go back and reread. A fairy's life is filled with danger. Broccoli is often poisoned by the wicked Duchess and should never be eaten. I'm thinking that the broccoli really isn't poisoned. I'm thinking she just doesn't want to eat her broccoli. Fairies also hate baths. I'd like to turn my bathwater into strawberry jello. That would be fun. But I don't know how yet. You have to be a permanent fairy to do tricks like that. Again, I think this is a clue. Maybe I should reread it and stop and think about what she's telling us. You have to be a permanent fairy to do tricks like that. Oh, to really turn her bath water into jello. So what she's saying is a permanent fairy is like a real fairy. They go to advanced fairy school to learn how. And here I see she's imagining fairies flying off to school, and she is just down here with her pretend wings and her pretend wand. So again, boys and girls, rereading, using the picture clues, stopping to think about what you're reading helps us to figure out what she means by permanent fairy and temporary fairy. I'm supposed to learn how to make clothes get up off the floor and dance around in line up in my closet. Wouldn't you like to have a magic spell to do that? I know I would. Let's see if it works for her. I'm not very good at it, though. Did you predict that as well? Knowing that she isn't a real fairy, you probably were thinking that I bet her clothes really aren't lined up. I'll probably be a temporary fairy forever. So, have you figured it out? What a temporary fairy is and what a permanent fairy is? You should have. Great job, boys and girls. Boys and girls, again, please stay safe. Make sure you are reading every day. Maybe you have some paper and pens at home. You could journal a little bit. Just write about what you're doing during these days. When it's a sunny day, maybe you can get outside and ride your bike, or maybe take a walk around the block. But remember, boys and girls, remember to practice social distancing. Make sure you are staying at least 6 feet apart. Okay? Boys and girls, I hope to see you real soon back in school. Stay tuned for more videos put on by Martin Road School teachers. Have a great day. Hope to see you soon. I miss you all. Bye.